Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. My name is Addie. So for today's video is the part 2 of the Bureau of Immigration Travel Advisory. This time, this is for foreign nationals with valid and existing visa and for former Filipinos or balikbayan. So details coming right up. So yesterday, I have uploaded a video for the revised travel restrictions, guidelines, and quarantine classifications by the Iatf. This is as of March 16th of 2022. So yesterday's video is for Filipino citizens. On today's video, we are going to do the foreign nationals category. So there's a lot of categories under the foreign national category, so we are going to discuss that one by one. So if you guys are one of these categories, stay tuned and let's get started. For arriving foreign nationals entering the Philippines, visa free. So these are the foreign nationals coming from the 157 country under Executive Order 408. Number 1, former Filipino citizens with balikbayan privilege under Republic Act number 9174, including their spouse and or children traveling with them to the Philippines, provided they are not restricted nationals. Citizen or national of countries allowed to a stay not exceeding 30 days per Executive Order number 408, series of 1960 as amended, or holders of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region or Macau SAR passports are entitled to stay for a period not exceeding 14 days. Number 2, fully vaccinated except for minor children below 12 years of age traveling with their fully vaccinated foreign parents. Number 3, possess acceptable proof of vaccination. And number 4, with negative RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours or a negative laboratory-based antigen test taken within 24 hours prior to departure from the country of origin or first port of embarkation, excluding layovers, provided the passenger has not left the airport premises or was not admitted into the transit country. Number 5, with valid return ticket to port of origin or next port of destination not later than 30 days from the date of arrival in the country. Number 6, passport valid for at least 6 months at the time of entry. Number 7, with travel insurance for COVID-19 treatment cost with a minimum coverage of $35,000 for the duration of stay in the Philippines. And number 8, 7 days self-monitoring for symptoms, date of arrival being the first day. So if you guys are foreign nationals flying to the Philippines as a foreign tourist or as a former Filipino or balikbayan, these are your documentary and quarantine requirements. So if you are fully vaccinated, you don't have to undergo quarantine anymore. And unfortunately for foreign nationals, unvaccinated will not be allowed entry into the Philippines. You have to be fully vaccinated to be allowed entry. Booster shots is not required at the moment. If you got the 2 doses vaccine for COVID-19, you would have gotten the second dose more than 14 days. So please take note of that. I have mentioned that on my previous video, but as of right now, for unvaccinated foreign nationals entering the Philippines as a foreign tourist or former Filipinos or balikbayans are still not permitted. So there is no update yet from the Iatf. So our next category is for foreign children traveling with Filipino nationals. Number 1, unvaccinated foreign children below 12 years of age traveling with a Filipino parent or parents shall follow health and quarantine protocols of the Filipino parent or parents traveling with them. Foreign children from 12 years to 17 years of age traveling with a Filipino parent or parents shall follow health and quarantine requirements relative to their vaccination status. Foreign or Filipino parents should accompany their unvaccinated minor children during facility-based quarantine. So if your child is below 12 years old, the parents' vaccination status will be followed. But if they are 12 years old to 17 years old, it will be based on their vaccination status because these ages can now be vaccinated. So if they are fully vaccinated, they don't have to go through the quarantine. But if they are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated or the vaccination status cannot be verified, then they will have to go through quarantine, and the parent or parents should accompany their child. The next category is for foreign nationals entering the Philippines through 9A visa. Foreign nationals coming from the visa-required countries or restricted countries shall secure an entry exemption document or EED and must meet the following requirements. So I have been asked on this since beginning April 1st that foreign tourists coming from the visa-required country will be allowed entry into the Philippines already. But unfortunately, the entry exemption document is still in place. So you need to secure the entry exemption document first, then you will apply for the 9A visa. Fully vaccinated except for minor children below 12 years of age traveling with their fully vaccinated parents. Possess acceptable proof of vaccination with negative RT-PCR tests taken within 48 hours prior to departure from the country of origin or port of embarkation, excluding layovers, provided the passenger has not left the airport premises or was not admitted into the transit country. And 7 days self-monitoring for symptoms, date of arrival being the first day. So for foreign nationals coming from the visa-required country, the antigen test was not even mentioned there. So unfortunately, you guys will have to do the RT-PCR test within the 48 hours prior to departure. So you guys can see as I am showing you the travel advisory from the Bureau of Immigration, the antigen test was not mentioned there to all foreign nationals coming from the visa-required country. Foreign spouses and children of Filipino citizens who are not nationals of Executive Order 408 countries, whether or not traveling with the said Filipino citizen, are from visa-required countries who are restricted nationals may enter the country without the need of an entry exemption document, provided they have been issued a 9A visa with appropriate visa notation and they meet the following requirements. So please take note of this for foreign nationals who are spouses of Filipino nationals. You guys have your own exemption as we just read. You guys will have to be fully vaccinated except for minor children below 12 years of age traveling with their fully vaccinated parent or parents. Possess acceptable proof of vaccination with negative RT-PCR test taken within 48 hours or a negative laboratory-based antigen test within 24 hours prior to departure from the country of origin or first port of embarkation, excluding layovers, provided the passenger has not left the airport premises and was not admitted into the transit country, with valid return ticket to port of origin or next port of destination not later than 30 days from the date of arrival in the country, with passport valid for at least 6 months at the time of entry, with travel insurance for COVID-19 treatment costs, with a minimum coverage of $35,000 for the duration of stay in the Philippines, and 7 days self-monitoring for symptoms, date of arrival being the first day. Fully vaccinated foreign nationals covered under this section who fail to present acceptable proof of vaccination shall be subject to facility-based quarantine until release of negative RT-PCR test taken on the 5th day, and home quarantine until the 14th day, date of arrival being the first day. So please take note of these exemptions. If you are a foreign national coming from the visa required country and entering the Philippines as a foreign tourist, you will have a different set of requirements. And that being said, you will have to secure the entry exemption document or EED. And for foreign nationals coming from the visa required country, but you are a spouse of a Filipino national or you are a child of a Filipino national, you guys also have your own set of requirements to be allowed entry into the Philippines that we just read earlier. And for our last category are for foreign nationals with other types of visas. These are foreign nationals with 13A visa or SRRV. Other than 9A visas may be allowed entry subject to the following. You have to be fully vaccinated. You have to possess acceptable proof of vaccination. 7 days self-monitoring for symptoms, date of arrival being the first day. When they said 7 days self-monitoring, it doesn't mean that this is home quarantine. You will monitor if you are showing symptoms within the 7 days since you arrive in the Philippines. So, I hope we are clear on that. Not fully vaccinated individuals under this category shall be denied entry. And fully vaccinated foreign nationals covered under this section who fail to present acceptable proof of vaccination shall be subject to facility-based quarantine until release of negative RT-PCR test taken on the 5th day and home quarantine until the 14th day, date of arrival being the first day. So I know there are a lot of requirements and documents that we have discussed to this particular category. So I hope you guys can watch it back if you really need the thorough details of it. I will also post the same context from the Bureau of Immigration website so you guys can go through each requirement posted for this particular category, because I am just showing you guys what the Bureau of Immigration Travel Advisory for the revised travel restriction guidelines and quarantine classifications by the IATF. So don't get confused, just follow a certain documentary and quarantine protocols, or not even quarantine. So please be very careful reading the details, especially on a particular category where you belong. For vaccination requirements, the basis of full vaccination status is you must have received second dose of 2-dose series or single dose vaccine more than 14 days prior to arrival in the country. Vaccine is included in any of the following: emergency use authorization list or compassionate special permit issued by the Philippine Food and Drug Administration, or emergency use listing of the World Health Organization. So these are the vaccines like Pfizer, Moderna, Sinovac, J&J, Sinopharm, or Sputnik. Proof of vaccination must be any of the following: World Health Organization International Certificates of Vaccination and prophylaxis. So this is required to those nationals coming from the country that don't have a reciprocal agreement with the Philippines. VaxCert PH, this applies only to those who got vaccinated in the Philippines. National or state digital certificate of the foreign government which has accepted VaxCert PH under a reciprocal arrangement unless otherwise permitted by the IATF, or other proofs of vaccination permitted by the IATF. So for examples of this is the US. The US and the Philippines has a reciprocal agreement, so their vaccination card is the CDC white card that is accepted in the Philippines. So I wanted to read the last part of the amended IATF resolution, which is the Airline Responsibility. And this is the reason why airlines are very strict when checking your documents before you are even allowed to board the aircraft. Fraudulent and or unverified vaccine certification and passengers' non-compliance with insurance requirements shall be the liability of the airline carriers. So if they let you in and your document is not complete, the airline can actually be penalized because of that. Existing guidelines for arriving Section 9E visa holders and crew members shall still be observed. The foregoing is without prejudice to the exercise of the mandate of the Bureau of Immigration in arrival and departure formalities. So like I mentioned earlier, this resolution is for the arrival of foreign nationals. So foreign nationals has its own category that we have just read earlier. So please take note which category do you guys belong and what are the requirements that you need to prepare to be allowed entry into the Philippines. If you also want the specific requirements, I have uploaded the latest arrival protocols to all travelers to the Philippines in the channel. I will also leave the link in the description box for your reference. But to those who are flying to the Philippines under this category, former Filipinos or balikbayans, foreign nationals coming into the Philippines as a foreign tourist, or foreign nationals with 9A visa and other types of visa like 13A and SRRV, these are your documentary and quarantine protocols as of March 16th of 2022. So this is our quick travel update for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, or inquiries with regards to this video or in any of our travel related videos, please comment it down below and I will try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Or you can direct message me in our Facebook page, same handle, the Eaton Squad. Again, I thank you guys so much for the continued support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad. I hope to see you on our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.